muscles of the hip. We're going to check them out. So, my friend, gluteus maximus, aka the glutes, we usually clump them all together. Most of our students will clump them all together because they function quite similarly and they make up the meat of your butt. Gluteus maximus is the largest one. It's the largest of the entire body. And it's highlighted in blue right here. So you can see coming off the pelvis, running down to the femur. This is your IT band here, this white thing here. So we talk about that a lot, right? So it attaches out into the IT band. There's strips of it that go out into the IT band and also into that big knob on the edge of your femur, which you can't see because it's covered up with muscle right now, but it's where all the glutes attach in. So gluteus maximus, it helps to extend the hip. I'm gonna get rid of that. So glute max has gone. Underneath it, deep to it, you're going to find glute med. We've talked a lot about glute med. It is the one that if you're standing on one leg, it's keeping the hips level, or it's keeping you from doing that kind of sassy walk, the ladies of Walmart walk. In Warrior 2, it's what keeps your knee from collapsing in towards your big toe. So it has a lot of really important function. And when it's weak or perhaps not just as strong as it maybe could be, or you're not functionally accessing it the way that you could, it can cause a lot of aches and pains for people. So it also attaches pelvic crest, iliac crest, out to that same attachment point, IT band, and you're starting to be able to see greater trochanters right underneath there. We're starting to uncover it. We're going to hide glute med. Our last little guy we're going to see here is glute min. Tiny little glute min, glute muscle. The last one basically functions very similarly. You can pause and see all of the details of it over here in this box if you want to. Really, we don't talk about it a lot. It doesn't get a lot of love. Piriformis is here. It runs from the front of the sacrum. So we've lost our sacrum a little bit. It's buried under there. You can't see it from the front either because we've got a lot of stuff in the way. Let me take all of this away so we can find it. Let me go back and select piriformis. See where it's peeking through there? Oh, I just unselected it, y'all. It's right there. That's it. So you can see, you're seeing through the abdominal viscera. Sacrum is right here, so it's coming off the front of the sacrum. It is known for being a troublemaker because of its orientation with the sciatic nerve. So this is the sciatic nerve. Everybody's a little bit different because we're all individuals, but the sciatic nerve will run right underneath the piriformis. For some people, it will actually go through the piriformis muscle. And if your piriformis muscle holds a lot of tension, it has the potential to irritate your sciatic nerve, which can cause that lovely experience of sciatica, which is different for every person. It's not really an actual diagnosis. It just means referred pain down the leg. And you can see why. I mean, it's this huge nerve and it's innervating much of the lower leg. So if it's cranky, you're feeling those symptoms down the leg somewhere. So that's the piriformis. Once you get more deep here, these are all the external rotators of the deep rotators of the hip. We're not going to go into all of these. They're more nitty gritty. We're looking at big function. So we are going to go laterally now. So I'm zoomed in. Can y'all see where we are? Zoom out for you to see. We've got pelvic crest here in our lateral view. Knee is down here. Hand is in the way. But we are looking at this. So you've got the IT band we talked about. What a lot of people don't realize, here's IT band. If you look over there, you can see I selected the iliotibial tract. There's a muscle at the top of it called the tensor fascia lata, but we oftentimes refer to that entire band from the crest of the pelvis down to the lateral knee just being the IT band. it gets a lot of hate for a lot of things. And oftentimes it's just a band of fascia. You can't really stretch it out. It doesn't really appreciably get a ton of stiffness in it, even though we say that, right? Like y'all have all heard that or felt that. And oftentimes it's something else that's really leading to that sensation in your body. It's not that actual band of fascia has shortened or tightened or changed in any way. It's how the muscles in the back of the hip, those glutes that we got rid of already, are functioning, and their impact. Remember, we talked about how they all attach into the IT band, and that is oftentimes where our trouble lies when we complain about our IT band. Okay, so we've spun around more anteriorly now. We're going to shift back a little bit superior to find our hip flexor. So the hip flexor is actually two muscles. You've got the iliacus and you've got the psoas. I've highlighted the psoas now. I'm going to add in the iliacus now. And they will attach deep. So they kind of start in the back of the body. They wrap around the front of the pelvis, you can see here, and then they do another deep dive to come back down towards the femur where they attach. The interesting thing about the hip flexor, which we've talked about before, is look at the attachment points here. It actually comes off of our lumbar spine. So sometimes when we have back stuff going on, hip flexors can be something we want to check out or give a little love to because they can be troublemakers for us. Okay. This is the sartorius muscle. So it wraps from pelvic crest and it wraps around medial to the knee. See here, it comes all the way down to the tibia. Quads. Quad meaning four muscles. Rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and then deep to all of that, underneath there, you're going to find, hang on, vastus intermedius. So four muscles that make up, oh, rats. I meant to undo, but I just redid the whole thing. Coming back down to the quads. Four muscles that make up the quads. They come from the hip into the patella, which then attaches down to the tibia. Their job, straighten your knee. So that's that deeper layer. Sartorius, I'm going to get rid of again. If we go to the inner thigh, we're going to come to the group called the adductor group. There's a lot of muscles that make it up. I'm going to highlight all of them. Together, they're all going to be the adductor group, coming from the pubis, your groin. And you can see how they attach all along the femur and even come down to the medial knee. Gracilis does. Coming back posteriorly. We're going to hide the glutes since I accidentally lost all of that. And we're going to find the posterior thigh muscles. So what is posterior? Hamstrings are the meat of the back of the thigh. There's actually three muscles that make up the hamstrings: semimembranosus, semitendinosus, and the biceps femoris. So you saw all of those getting selected right there. Semimembranosus, semitendinosus, biceps femoris. They make up the hamstring, which bends the knee. They start at the sits bones and run to either side of your knee, medial and lateral. Those are your muscles of the thigh and hip.